my desktop for most of the viewing, but I also have my 360, which I utilize to watch Netflix as well. The quality hasn't been an issue yet, but my massive TV does tend to kind of distort things a little bit with, the Netflix quality over the WAN, over the internet. So I don't know. I haven't really been torn there yet in one way or another. And in terms of time, I don't have a lot of time. And in terms of how I watch movies, I don't generally now do what I used to do, which was I would sit there and go, man, I got to see this movie, this movie, this movie, this movie. I probably have 40 movies in my queue right now in terms of DVDs. But I don't really do that much anymore. That being said, a lot of the movies I do want to get over DVD are movies that are not available streaming. MST3K, for example. Some of the documentaries that are there that I really do enjoy. I love documentaries. I like kind of engaging my mind when I go and watch a Netflix. But that being said, like I said before, I just kind of want to get the idea of, hey, I need to watch a film. Let's just see what's streaming and hit one of those buttons. Don't do a lot of TV, although there are a lot of very good TV series on Netflix now. I actually watched Twin Peaks when it was on a different service that I cannot seem to remember off the top of my head. It had a very strange name. It was like Scandinavian. But anyway, I actually watched the entire series online a few years back because of that service. But Star Trek certainly doesn't hurt things either. It's nice to be able to pull up those episodes whenever you want to. That being said, they're probably not going to be there forever. And what I think is interesting too is that you have to understand that cycle of things is a bad omen for me about streaming. If I have a reservation about streaming and keeping the streaming service, it's that it's so selective. There are certain movies that are there and then they're gone. And there are certain TV shows that are there and then they're gone. If I'm going to have a service that I want to pay monthly for, I want to have something that I feel confident I'm going to be able to watch something on there that it's always going to be able to be there. I'll always be able to see something like that. And I know from a licensing standpoint that becomes very difficult. But a lot of the stuff I want to watch is pretty old and probably wouldn't be worth any kind of money on a DVD anyway. So, let's see. What are the questions that I asked that I have to answer about myself? I don't have a lot of time to be watching movies. So that's another piece of the puzzle. Not only that I decide to watch movies fairly on a whim right now, but I don't really spend a lot of my time watching movies. I watch more TV, live TV, or DVR TV than I do movies, or especially TV on Netflix. So, what is my decision? My decision is probably to go one of two ways. I'm either going to go to the streaming only service because I just haven't seen a lot of value add from the DVD right now. I don't even check my mail that often anymore, my physical mail. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to be out there, throwing DVDs around. So I think I'm going to get rid of that. I think I'm going to go with the streaming. The second option, though, is to actually ditch the service altogether. And I want to say that for a couple reasons. And I don't know if any of you mentioned that as an option either. Although some of you are not subscribers, I don't think any of you said, hey, Commodore, just throw the service away. That being said, I think it's probably an option. And the reason why is this. I don't use the DVD service nearly as much to justify the cost. That being said, I don't stream enough movies to probably justify that cost. And because of the selectivity, it's going to be very rare where I say to myself, I want to see this movie and I want to see it now. And I go jump on Netflix and it's actually there to watch. So that's kind of missing too. And lastly, because of the Redbox thing and because of streaming services like Hulu now and things like that, I'm starting to think to myself that there are a lot of things that are more on demand, cable on demand, for example, that I could probably do a lot better, where you can just pay per movie, and it would probably actually do better for me in the long run. So I'm leaning toward going to the streaming only plan, but I'm actually considering also getting rid of the service altogether. Maybe that's Netflix isn't probably having anything to do with this little vlog entry right here, but maybe that's an indication from their customers. I don't know what kind of inclinations they've had so far. But, you know, I mean, if I'm thinking about ditching the service, that probably is something substantial that they should take a look at. So that's out there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I wanted to say thanks for all of you. That was one of the first times I think I asked you about a question I'm actually dealing with myself, and just to see what you guys should do. So instead of being advice from the Commodore, it ends up being advice from the community, and I happen to like that very much. So thank you for being part of the pilot. We'll definitely use that again. Now, I want to go into the conversation for next week with a little bit of setup, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about this, because we haven't done a lot of talk about movies in a while, and I thought, let's talk about films. Let's talk about some stuff involved there, just to get that part of our minds going again. All right, so this week I saw Captain America. I saw it on Saturday. A lot of hype. Very excited about Captain America. Went with several patriotic friends of mine just to go, and we thought we'd get a USA chant going. Again, sorry to all my international audience. I know you are very many, but these colors don't run. Anyway, so so I went to Captain America. I have limited knowledge of Captain America, but an understanding. I've seen all the old Captain America iterations, or at least pieces of them, and I really like Captain America as a hero, and I really like the idea. Even though we're talking about a superhero that's very, very old in terms of concept. Now, a lot of people and a lot of critics have really said, "Man, this is a very good movie. It's good. It does all the things that it should do. It's fun. Try not to take it too seriously. It's just kind of a Marvel superhero movie." I want to say this. I really, really did not like that movie. It was very disappointing in my mind. It did not really live up to what I thought the hype machine had really brought to it. And I didn't see Green Lantern, but I would venture to say that Captain America for me probably would have been just about as entertaining as Green Lantern, and I've heard that movie was pretty bad. So that got me thinking. And guys, you can share your opinions about Captain America. I don't really care. That's not what I'm asking about. What I want to ask about is, when was the last time, or let's not say that. Here's the Weekly Ringer. Let me say it the way that I want to say it. What's the most disappointed you've ever been for a movie you went to go see in the theater? Not a movie you saw on DVD later, but you went to a movie theater to see it with a fair amount of expectations in mind, and it really disappointed you. When was the last time, or not the last time, when was the time that struck out so much in your mind that it is just your most disappointed you've ever been for a film in the theater? That is the Weekly Ringer, and that's going to be a great question. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. There have been a lot of very disappointing movies over the years, and specifically movies that happen to have geek licenses. I'm not trying to sway you guys one way or another, but movies that you and I would probably be more interested than most. There have been quite a few disappointments there. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So feel free to share your comments about Captain America. If you just love it and you think it's great, tell me I'm crazy. Maybe I'll get into the details next week of why I hated it and why I don't think it's a good movie. But for right now, let's just stick with the Ringer at hand, and let me know what movie disappointed you the most ever. All right, guys. So yeah, there we go. We've had a good conversation today. I think we covered all the spots. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But thanks as always for watching. Thanks for commenting and keeping those comments going. Great to see, again, some of those folks come back from the community. Great to see new people every week. Keep it going. The series keeps moving forward because you guys are there, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you all, as always, for watching. I am the Commodore from the Clan of the Grey Wolf, here with the Weekly Ringer, and there is no reset button.